You're listening to the Proposify Biz Chat with Kyle Racky, a podcast for entrepreneurs looking to scale. This episode is brought to you by Proposify, software that streamlines your proposal process, impresses clients, and helps you close more deals. Head to proposify.com to start your free trial today.
Hey everyone, I'm Kyle Racky, and you're watching the Proposify Biz Chat, where I'm talking to other founders and entrepreneurs about how they're scaling their business. Today on the show, I am talking to Bastian Ernst. He's the founder and CEO of Wild Audience, which is a marketing company that uses respect-based marketing and relationship funnels to get people to feel, act, and convert. It's a company that does consulting and builds training products and apparently soon SaaS. So we're going to learn all about that and more talking to Bastian. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, Kyle?
Thanks for being on. Very good to have you.
It's going to be fun.
And apparently you used to work for a pal of mine I've had on the show, Steli Efti.
Oh yeah,
founder of Proposify.
Yeah, Steli and me, we're friends actually. We go sail every year. This year we're gonna go to Croatia. Last year we were in Turkey, and I used to work for him. That was kind of like the beginning of my whole. Say again?
What did you do at Close.io?
This guy taught me everything, man. I was, as I mentioned before, I grew up in Austria, and Steli and Close.io was my one-way ticket to Silicon Valley. That was kind of like before I started my company, Wild Audience. I just worked for this guy. He was my mentor. He taught me everything. I was there in SDR, so I was doing sales, qualifying people, and I learned marketing and learned sales everything there.
He's the guy to go to learn sales, especially in SaaS, right?
Yeah, he's such a great heart. This guy, just such a great human being. You know, like I learned not only business and marketing, but also about relationships and life. You know, from him, through him. So he's a cool guy. Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. And what was the point? Because I think so. What we want to talk about your company and the kind of stuff that you guys are up to. But I really like how it kind of came about, because you were basically living out of a garage at one point in Silicon Valley, weren't you?
Yeah.
How did that all come about? Were you at Close.io at that point?
Yeah, exactly. So in Silicon Valley, you either need to have like a great salary, right? Or you could have, big investor or a lot of revenue, right? If you don't have this, and at that time I was, how old were I? Like maybe 19, 18, right? So I was an intern at Close.io, right? So my salary wasn't that big, but I lived in a garage with 4 other, sometimes 5 other guys on the weekends, and no windows, just one huge, door where the sun came in the morning, which was awesome. But, that was a couple of years back, maybe $800 per month, right? So that's still like a lot.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. And
I was living in a garage.
You were doing coding kind of at night, and you guys weren't just, I'm sure there was a little bit of partying going on, but you were working out of that garage.
That was a cool house, man. That was like a huge house in Silicon Valley, like close to Stanford, and we're like 15 people living in that house. Every single person was like around 25 years, 20 years, 30 years, and yeah, some people were working at Google and Facebook, some people were starting their own companies, but like even like if someone worked at Google during night, in the evening, after dinner, we all worked together and worked on different projects. Lots of fun stuff. Yeah.
And so at what point did you decide you wanted to make a change and do something different?
After a couple of months working at Close.io, I had to make a decision to either like go full in, right? But like I was always had the idea of starting my own company. I really loved it. I knew I'm going to do it eventually. Just the question was when. And then there was just like, the right timing. So I just did it, jumped into cold water. And that's why I moved down to Costa Rica, because Silicon Valley is just, the bootstrap a company, not the right place. It's very inspirational. It's awesome. But to bootstrap, not the right place.
It's funny too, because I think a lot of people probably move to Silicon Valley to start a company with the intention maybe of raising money or something, but they think like you have to be in Silicon Valley, you have to be where the action is, and you kind of went the opposite to start your company.
Yeah, the idea was like, if I would do it again, I would basically build an MVP, or first an MVA and then an MVP, get traction, and then have, come with a working product and traction and growth and present it there. Yes.
Yeah.
But like, if you have nothing, just don't go to Silicon Valley. It's just too expensive.
So you were in Costa Rica, and you didn't really know quite what you wanted to build or what kind of company you wanted to build, but you got your first paying customer. How did that come about? How did you convince somebody to pay you?
Yeah, that was funny. So I was really into marketing. That's kind of like my thing. So I did all types of different marketing, but I didn't really specify on one thing. Right now we do, sales automation, we do funnel automation, respect-based marketing. That's the stuff we do right now. That's the niche. But, a couple of years back, I just didn't know what my thing was, my angle. And basically what I did is I created articles, blog posts. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then I wrote this one blog post, and it got feedback. It was actually on Inbound, which is like one of these link sharing things. Yep. And it was there like on top 3 for 1 week. So had lots of comments, lots of engagement there. It was positive and negative, right? It was one of the first times I put something on the internet and I got a lot of negative feedback. It was 50-50 actually.
What was the negative feedback on it? So for those who haven't seen that article, oh shoot, I had it in front of me. What was the name of that blog post?
So one of the blog posts we wrote was 8 steps to an evergreen sales funnel, right? And before I wrote this piece, I had a previous one, which was kind of like a pilot, version of it. And that's the one which was an Inbound. Okay. And this is now the second version, which is only positive feedback.
So you took that negative feedback on the article.
Exactly. Yes. I was like, to be honest, I was really down. I was like, oh man, like how can people be so aggressive and like negative on the internet, right? And then this one guy said, and I'm actually working with him right now. And he said, Nathan, he said, hey dude, like this is awesome. You got negative and positive. Of course, negative sucks, but people, cared enough to give you feedback or, drop a negative message, which is great. Just think about it. If you put something out and no one comments at all, right? No one cares, right? So that was actually really cool. And then it just took the negative parts, right? And learned from it, right? Yeah.
That's a valuable lesson, I think, for people. I mean, for starters, like we know the internet is just, if you're going to find anything negative, people are going to say it on the internet, especially YouTube comments, Facebook comments. Although the inbound community seems to be, I think, a little bit more respectful than most, but was like Reddit. So it's, yeah. It sounds like it was constructive feedback though. It wasn't like, so I actually have a YouTube video that, what is it on? It's basically, it's one of those kind of polarizing statements in the headline, and it says, don't pay finder's fees when somebody brings you new business, right? So It's kind of that headline that entices you to kind of like, oh, what's he talking about? Because most people think, of course, pay referral fees. And some of the comments are like, oh, great video. And then other ones are people who haven't read it. And they're just like, I'm literally called an asshole in the comments just for daring to say something that people don't agree with. But did you find the feedback was constructive, or was it just like, I don't like this guy's hair?
No, it was constructive. I guess at that time, because that was kind of the beginning when you start to put content out, right? Because some people, they're afraid of putting content out, and then you just get over that fear, and then you just do it. And then once you get, then this time when the first time you get negative feedback, it hurts, right? Because, it's like getting your first refund, right? The first time it just sucks, right?
Yeah.
And then you learn from it, right? So yes, it was constructive. But I guess one thing I was wondering, like, why would people do this, right? I had only positive intentions, you know what I mean? But yeah, you learn that.
But it's great so you took that feedback and applied it and made the post better. And, so that you got your first paying customer from that blog post, because that brought a lot of traffic your way. But what were you actually selling? Like, why did that person take out their credit card and pay, I think it was $97?
Exactly. So what I did was I created the article. It was like 3K words or something like that. I put it on Inbound. I promoted it through Twitter. Like, hey, I posted it on Inbound. You want to check it out, right? That kind of stuff, right? And they had a content upgrade on that article, meaning a resource, a PDF that extended the article, right? So it makes sense to sign up. And then people did that. I got around 200 people to sign up from Facebook groups and Inbound and so on. And then I had a 7-part email sequence, right? And basically what I wanted to test was an offer, and it was around because I was really into growing a list, but I didn't want to go after the list size and helping people to grow a list, but actually get the people engaged, right? So that's kind of like was my first hook, how to get people engaged via email, right? And that was, I created a sales page and I put this out there. I had the blog post, 7 emails, and the sales page, right? And that's how I got my first, paying customer, 97, as you said before, a guy from Brazil. They was like, "Oh man, I got to build a product." And then, yeah, that's
Was he pissed when there wasn't a product to buy?
No, not at all. Like, this is so funny. Like, my first 25 customers, they're like now friends now. Like, this one guy in London, I'm doing now Facebook Lives with him. He was my third paying customer from the States. And now we're actually working on a big project together, which is multiple thousands of dollars, right? So these 25 people, they helped me shape what I wanted to do, because they really saw the value, but they also understood that they were better customers. And I told them, like, I wasn't pretending, hey, this is not, this is like super awesome. Because I told them, hey, this is like still under construction. And that was actually kind of like a winning point. You know what I mean? Because what I promised them was unlimited coaching, right? So that's kind of like my thing. So the first 25 people, they became my friends.
Wow. I think there's a lot of lessons there for people who starting up new companies. Is, you're asking for the sale, you're being honest with them, but you're basically generating revenue right off the bat, which is something that I think a lot of people could learn. But I also like that you're nurturing that relationship by offering something, because too many people just want something in return and they don't want to have to offer any, or they don't know what to give people. They're just like, what can I do that's helpful for people? But you actually said, like, hey, if you paid me money, I don't really have anything to give you right now, but I will give you free consulting. You
exactly.
I love that approach.
It helps you to validate an idea if you're not sure if what you want to do is the right thing. And then once people pay you money, right, this is a thing, people actually wanted to get it solved, right? And then on the other hand, it gets you moving, right? Because if you have people to pay you money, and then I tell them, hey, every 2 days you can expect a call, every 2 days you can expect a new whatever lesson or whatever you're going to sell, right? You really got to deliver, right? Because people waiting and they paid for it, right? So that will help you increase the process of actually creating your product.
Yeah, we did that for us early in the beginning with Proposify, where our product was really bad. The editor barely worked. Like, you had to know all the hacks to make it work right. So we would actually just say people, like, I would personally take their PDF of their proposal and do all the work for them and manually put it in the system and then give it back to them. And, people love that kind of hands-on approach. And there are people out there that are early adopters. They like rooting for the underdog. They like the scrappiness of just dealing with, like, one of the co-founders, and they're willing to put up with bugs or kinks because they know, like, they just want to support something early on.
Yeah, they're part of the process. They enjoy it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're almost helping you design it in a way, because their feedback is what you're taking and actually applying.
Exactly, yeah.
How did you go from that initial sale then to now having a company with that offers services and information products? What was that transition like?
It was step by step, right? At the beginning, it was just me. And then basically what I focused on two things. So instead of having multiple blog posts, multiple PDFs, I just had this one single article, which I exported and had made a PDF out of it, right? That's the one you mentioned before, right? And this single article, right, generated 100K in 6 months for me. And that kind of like was the focus. Just have one article and then use one traffic source. Because I remember I was trying content marketing, blogging, YouTube, Twitter, all these different things, right? And I was like, I'm not getting the results. And I was like, all right, I'm going to take my money, which I had, right? At that time, that was like 5K, and this article, and I'm going to put it in Facebook ads, right? And that was the right thing to do for me. I put the 5K in, I made 27 back, right? And that's like when I was like, oh, right, now I have a real business, right? And I guess the lesson learned there was
you put 5K in and made 27,000 back.
Yeah, yes.
That's pretty good ROI.
Yeah, that was really, really good. And then the lesson there is quality over quantity. Just one article, make it super awesome, and then put all your eggs into one traffic source and focus on that and make that work before you just try to diversify and do all these different things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We had a similar kind of a similar example for us, although for us it wasn't Facebook ads, because I think when we were starting out, Facebook still hadn't quite figured out how to do advertising really effectively, and I didn't know anything about AdWords. I wasn't very good at AdWords, but I was really good at organic SEO. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we started, we were using search, like just organic SEO for a lot of our strategy. And early on, that drove 90% of our revenue. And it was only
Nice.
until later when we had more access to capital and more people on the team that we could broaden it out and start experimenting with other things.
Exactly. Yes. So that's definitely in terms of traffic, keep it focused at the beginning. That at least that worked for me. And then, but then another lesson learned I had, and once we, got to a later point in our journey, we started to diversify too late. For example, we still had all of our buckets on Facebook ads, right? And then when Facebook ads changed, the Facebook ads world changed, we had, we were just starting with the process of changing and diversifying, and that was too late, right? So I guess the lesson there was at the beginning focus, but then diversify once you have, product market fit and you have growth and so on.
Mm. There's similarities there, I think, to the stock market, and I don't know if I'm smart enough to make those comparisons or experienced enough in investing in it. But there's the idea of diversifying your portfolio and balancing your portfolio every year, and yeah, you definitely want to always have your main channel. But I think what we're talking about is starting up when you're going from I've got almost no cash in the bank and I'm just one person. That's the
Right.
time when you want to go double down 100% into what's working. And if you spread it thin, you spread it across a few places, but if you find one thing that's working really well, funnel it all into that.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, you talk a lot about respect-based marketing. I think you might have even coined the term. You own the .com, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Now, respect-based marketing, I'd love for you to kind of go into that and delve into that a little bit. Do you think that respect is generally lacking in marketing today?
Yeah, like, and especially like, what I saw is just looking at other people, other marketers, other companies, and they were using, promotions, discounts, urgency, content timers, fake scarcity, right? Especially with digital products. And then all of these things at the same time, right? And I was like, business is relationships between people, right? So where is the relationship there, right? Using, lying and faking stuff, right?
Squeeze
And
pages.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not saying all this is bad, but what I say is using everything at the same time is just not the way I want to do business, right? Because that's not how I want to just, communicate with my people, right? And then the second thing is what I didn't like was being dependent on my promotion, right? So in the past, before I was using respect-based marketing, I always had to think about, okay, every 2 weeks I need to think about a new promotion, like a new angle, a new hook, right? A new kind of offer, right? Make it, interesting, right? And it was really dependent on these promotions, right? Discount there, promotion there, right? Birthday promotion, day of happiness, right? All these things. And then once I had this promotion, then it just screwed up, right? I screwed up. My whole revenue was kind of like lost for that month because I did a mistake. But maybe even your ESP or your email system does a mistake, right? It doesn't send out the emails and then you screw, right? So I didn't want to be dependent. Plus, I didn't want to fake and like be, use fake scarcity. And that's kind of like why I started to use respect-based marketing. And respect-based marketing is nothing new, right? It's just marketing, which is based on respect, relationships, trust, and authority, right? And you take these elements, never changing elements of business, and then combine them with super advanced automation and evergreen sales funnels, right? And the whole marketing approach is focused on getting people engaged. So that's what we want to get. We want to increase click rates because we know if we get the right people engaged, we'll also increase our revenue. And then we use different things like open loops, cliffhangers, frequency selectors, activation hooks, and all these different things and methods, micro investments to get people engaged because we know that will also increase our revenue.
Who is your ideal audience? So because you're selling, I think 4 different courses that I saw on your site. Who would be the ideal buyer of those?
So our ideal customer avatars are either online businesses or agencies, right? Coaches, consultants, and SaaS businesses. That's kind of like the companies we work most with.
Right. And is it when you're selling to agencies, is it for them to take this information and apply it to their clients? or to use it for
Both.
themselves?
Both. So for example, I run an agency myself, right? I help other people and implement this stuff into their business. And I use my approach, of course, to get clients, right? So yes. So agencies, they usually use it for their own marketing, but then also resell it and then implement it into other businesses as well.
And what do you think are some, and maybe you could share little teaser snippets of these courses, but what are some really good kind of tactical things that you're teaching that people who are maybe doing marketing the traditional, digital marketing and automation, it feels weird saying the traditional way, but the way we all think about it with fake scarcity and squeeze pages and, and all these things, and how do you kind of make that a little more respectful?
Yeah, it's a good one. So basically, the way we do it is we also create lead magnets. Okay, that's usually a PDF around 10, 20 pages. And what you can do is if you have a blog post, you just export it and have a PDF, you put a cover, you're done, right? And what a sales funnel it basically does is creating installing buying beliefs, right? So before someone can buy your service or product, he or she needs to accept the desire or need of your product. Right? And that's what the sales funnel does. If you go into a supermarket and you buy, potatoes, right? You will only buy these potatoes if you truly believe potatoes are healthy, are yummy, and so on. If you don't believe that, you're never ever going to buy it, right? Same with a sales funnel, okay? And that's what this sales funnel does, right? So you start out with the lead magnet to get people in and qualify the right people, right? And the way you do this is by kind of like asking for the email address, right? The reason why we choose the email address is because that allows you to control the conversation. You can decide, okay, now I'm going to reach out, now I'm going to send an email, right? If you don't have an email address, you cannot control the conversation, right? But instead of just asking for the email address, we actually ask one question before. We want to figure out their main problem, okay? This is called lead bucketing. Okay. So once we know the answer to the main problem, and then once people sign up, they're having a thank you page, right? On a thank you page, we say, hey, thanks for signing up for the lead magnet. You know what? We've actually created a 6-7 lesson course to solve problem X. That's the problem they just told us, right? So we're going to personalize the content on that page through a tool, for example, like Right Message, which is a personalization tools where you can personalize the content on your website, right? And so people need to raise their hands again, right? This 6-7 lesson course is an email sequence. It's for free, right? And the only thing it does, it establishes a relationship, it installs the buying beliefs, and it readies people for the conversion event, which is either a sales page, a sales call, a strategy call, a webinar, and so on, right? A one-on-one meeting, whatever it is, right? And that's what this 6-7 lesson email sequence does. But the difference is that you basically ask people to raise their hand again. Hey, do you want to be part of this email sequence? If yes, they need to say yes, right? And then you're going to ask 4 more questions. What's your goal? And 3 more questions, right? And then you're going to take that data, and then you will be able to segment your people into different buckets, ask method style, right? And then personalize and customize the sequence and the email sequence and the pages, everything through your ESP, Active Campaign, Trip, and so on, or Right Message on your landing pages, on your websites, and so on, right? And that allows you to be personal, right? And if you're personal, people will feel like, this is relevant to me. If they feel it's relevant, they will actually engage more, they will click more because they're interested. And if you get more people to click a link to your sales page, you have more sales page, you have more eyes on your sales page, and that will expose more people to your offer, right? And of course, you get the right people to click and check out your offer, you have more chances to actually generate more sales.
Very cool. Very cool. It reminds me of this great quote by Nick Kuzmich, who's been on the show before, where he said that great marketing isn't when you understand your audience, it's when your audience feels understood by you. And so what I like about your approach is that the way you're personalizing the content and not just sort of leaving them on a thank you page and then saying, okay, goodbye. And like maybe in a month we'll follow up. Right. You're kind of keeping them in this like hot cognition, this sort of, this warmed up state, and you're just continually warming them up even more so.
Yeah, the cool thing is that once you jump on the call with a client, right, or potential clients, I just had a call before I jumped on this call, right? And you talk to people who have a relationship with you, who trust you, right? Who have already these buying beliefs installed, and you don't talk to someone who has never heard from you before. So especially if you don't like selling or if you're afraid of the call, right? This will change the game for you because you talk to people who actually want to reach out to you, right? And that's kind of like how we do it. We track the lead score, right? For every time they open an email, every time they click a link or stuff like that, every time they visit the offer, they get they collect points, right? And then once they hit the threshold, let's say of 250 points, we trigger then an automated email through Gmail, right? And hey, do you want to jump on a call? I've seen you've been very active with our content, right? It seems like you're serious about, achieving X, right? You want to jump on a call, right? And that's kind of like changes the environment. You know what I mean?
You don't have to sell them. They've already sold themselves on you, and you're not trying to shove anything down their throats at this point.
You got it. That's exactly it.
So for people who want to check out Wild Audience, it's wildaudience.com. There's 4 trainings, which you can check out when you go to the website, and you also do one-on-one consulting and implementation, I assume, with clients. So if people want to check out Wild Audience, make sure you hit the website. Is there anywhere else they can kind of find you or get in touch with you?
Yeah, I guess one link which is probably pretty cool for you guys would be to go to wildaudience.com/podcast. And then if you check out that page, you can, see the whole journey, the whole relationship funnel yourself. And basically what you get is you get a PDF, which is a summary of everything what we talked about during this call. And and then the cool thing is you will see everything play out in real life, in action, right? You will see how everything gets customized and personalized. And it's actually super fun to watch. To watch actually, because the number one reason why our people become our customers is because they go through that journey, that sales experience, and they say, wow, this sales experience is so cool. I want to be able to offer that same kind of sales experience to my customers as well. So they actually enjoy to be sold to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just check it out and just, observe it. It's fun.
I find a lot of people, I know for myself, I'm the same way. Anybody who's in sales and marketing are different than most people, because most people either hate being sold to or they don't realize they're being sold to. Sales and marketing people are generally the only ones who know they're being sold to and love it if it's done well. They just hate it when it's not done well.
Exactly. Yeah, that was good.
So people check out wildaudience.com/podcast. There will be a link in the show notes. You can either go there directly or go to proposify.com/podcast, in which case we will have links in the show notes to all this great stuff. We've got Bastian Ernst, Wild Audience, on the podcast today. Thank you so much, Bastian, for being on the show.
That was a lot of fun, man. Enjoyed it.
My pleasure.
Thanks for listening to the Proposify Biz Chat with Kyle Racky. For more episodes, check us out on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, or Google Play. Click subscribe to get updated on the latest episodes, and be sure to rate and review.